Ahlam Ahmed Mohammed Othman from Egypt, talking about the project Preserving Bedouin Oral Literature. The floor is yours, Ahlam.
Oh, sorry. I was muted. Hello, everyone. This is Ahlam Osman from Egypt. The project I'm leading is entitled Preserving Oral Bedouin Literature in Marsa Matruh. And I'm very thankful to Heritage Management Organization and Mellon Foundation for funding the project and all the training and support we have got throughout our journey. I am a professor of literature and the head of the Egyptian Circle of Comparative Poetics and Genre Studies, and I'm also an interpreter and a literary translator. So our project is concerned with the preservation of oral Bedouin literature, and our goal is to document, archive, and promote this literature through community engagement, capacity building, and academic collaboration. Of course, it belongs to intangible heritage, and it's in danger of being forgotten because of the death of elders. As you can see, most of those Bedouin poets are old people, and many of them pass away. So our goal is to promote this kind of literature and to ensure its sustainability throughout the project and later on after we finish. The 4 milestones have been partially achieved because we're working in parallel. We held cultural events in order to establish connections with the community and also to videotape these oral Bedouin performances. We also held 2 training workshops, one training workshop for capacity building, and it was for the Bedouins themselves to train them on videotaping techniques and interviewing techniques for capacity building. And the other workshop was for dissemination of the results of the project and establishing academic collaboration. We collected data, transcribed some of these data, and subtitled some videos into English and uploaded them to a YouTube channel. And we disseminated the results in the Planet Langlet 2026 conference that was held last month in Bangladesh. Insofar as community engagement is concerned, we co-organized these cultural events and training workshops in collaboration with Bedouin communities, with the Bedouin Literature Division and the Heritage Preservation Committee in Marsa Matruh. And we also collaborated with Bedouin poets and experts in transcription of these videos, because some of the words are not really clear when spoken fast. And so we needed the help of some experts and Bedouin poets. Through these activities, we could promote this kind of literature and encourage them to preserve it. Insofar as the impact and the outcomes are concerned, we held 2 cultural gatherings, one in Hammam and the other one in Sidi Barrani, on special occasions for the Bedouin communities. And the training workshop was attended by 12 Bedouin poets. They were trained on interviewing and videotaping techniques. And a field visit was also organized, and 9 interviews were conducted with experts in the field of Bedouin literature. We also attended 3 other events and could videotape 50 oral Bedouin poems, and we're now working on transcribing and subtitling them. And a media campaign is currently being organized with Rosal Youssef, the Rosal Youssef Journal, a very well-known journal in Egypt. And the results were disseminated in the conference, and now collaboration with the Green University of Bangladesh is underway. They are going to conduct a similar project on Bengali oral literature, and we hope that we can do some comparative poetics studies based on this research. These are some photos from the cultural events that were held and the training at the public library in Marsa Matruh. These photos are from the conference, and this is a visit of the greatest stable in Marsa Matruh. You know that horses hold a very special place in the hearts of Bedouins, and it's a sign of their heroism and chivalry. They always figure in their poetry. So it was a very fruitful visit, and we could conduct interviews and learn more about their values and their cultural traditions. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you very much, Ahlam.
And this is the QR code to our YouTube channel. If you would like to see some of these videos. Actually, if we had more time, I could have shown you some of their performances. They are really nice.
Thank you very much. Very interesting documentation project of preserving the Bedouin oral traditions and literature. We will move on to our next speaker now, which is Abel Asefa Jirmeh, who will be talking about the standardization, documentation, and digitization of museums' collections for effective heritage management. Abel from Ethiopia.
Yes.
Can you hear us?
Yes, thank you, Aslina. I can hear you.
Great. So shall I share your presentation?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Hold on a moment. Whenever you can see your presentation, you can start.
Okay, I can see my presentation. Thank you all. Good afternoon, good morning to all participants of this workshop. My name is Abel Asefa. I'm presenting and joining you from Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. My project is called Standardized Documentation and Digitization of Museum Collections for Effective Heritage Management, which was implemented in a private museum located here in Addis Ababa that was established in December 2022. Our museum is a private museum, one of a kind for our city, Addis Ababa, as well as Ethiopia. It's housed in 125 years old historic building. So as a historic entity, it's very important, as well as a museum, it's one of a kind. So the necessity for this project was to be able to document, as well as to document and standardize all our collections based on the national standard. The National Museum of Ethiopia has a national standard documentation form that all museums shall follow. So aside from that, it's also important, it's quite necessary, this project, in improving the stories as well as background information we present to our visitors. But also it's quite necessary to establish in a good foundation to establish a good relation with other stakeholders as well as sharing informations. So all in all, even though when we start, we have tried to list out the collection, they weren't listed out or documented according to the national standard. So this project was quite necessary in doing so. So far as a milestone where we are able to achieve, we have designed a documentation toolkit that we use for the documentation of all our museum items. This is an ongoing project, and one of the reasons that it became a bit late was last year. Once we start this documentation, we were very privileged to receive a huge amount of donation that we never think of receiving from one private collector that are paper-based collections that include various foreign currencies, old Ethiopian currencies, as well as stamps, and other type of documents. So, so in order to do so, we start documenting those donations. So far as a milestone, we are able to achieve in making inventory and documentation of these collections. Aside from that, as a community engagement, we are able to collaborate with scholar, especially one scholar in working on one provenance research for one museum item. And we are able to present two temporary exhibitions. You can make it the presentation next. So far as an impact, we are able to understand the type and the diverse amount of collections that we have in our museum. They are easily accessible through our digitized collections. And most importantly, such projects allow us to work with various stakeholders, especially with the National Museum and other private museums, other museums. And importantly, we usually underestimate the importance of private collectors. So such projects allow us to work with private collectors in making accessible their collection as well as in providing them as a donation. And most importantly, since one of the most important aim of a museum is education, more than ever, our temporary exhibitions are one of a kind, especially in providing a very articulated and educational information that allow visitors to understand much better on the exhibitions that we have presented. So far, as an outcome, we were able to provide two temporary exhibitions, especially one of them has attracted more than 750 plus visitors. So 750 for other museums and other places, it might be quite less, but for a private museum, small private museum, it's a huge deal. Aside from that, it helped us to collaborate with museums. We were able to involve three experts to work along with us and one scholar. And lastly, you can be able to see few of the collections that we have that are quite distinctive for Ethiopia, but as well as to the Horn of Africa. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Abel. This will end up to be a very nice museum. Up next, we have, it's Daniel Ratting, who is not able to join us today. So I will request for Vasilia Marcelino Zacarias Zualo to be our next speaker from Mozambique, talking about the weaving resilience, preserving carpet weaving and cultural knowledge in Palma, Cabo Delgado. Wacy?
Hello. Can you see my presentation?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Waslia Zacarias, and I'm from Mozambique. And I am speaking on behalf of my organization, Karingana Textiles. And our project is about preserving cultural heritage and promoting socioeconomic development in Cabo Delgado in Palma. And this is a region in the north of Mozambique. So our project is really around indigenous knowledge preservation, and it's based in the Palma district of Cabo Delgado province, which was like the very up north of the province. And this is an area that is currently in a war situation. So we consider this project to be urgent. It is part of an ongoing project that is funded by Exxon, which is about promoting and preserving culture in this area. And our objectives for this and goals for this project were to preserve cultural knowledge, strengthen the teaching capacity of women who are doing carpet weaving. So we are engaging about 210 women, and we work with a core group of 30 teachers who are considered master weavers. The project promotes peer-to-peer learning, so the master weavers then work with women in the community. So we work with 10 different communities. And then we support livelihoods and product quality and create a community-owned archive. Oops, sorry. So the milestones that we have achieved so far is that we have done training of trainers for 30 master weavers. We have documented over 14 pattern designs, which locally they call mpango. And these are the pictures at the bottom right in this picture. And the mpangos are basically these patterns that are made from different aspects of their daily life. And they have different names and significance. We have also recorded the different dye recipes, so the recipes that they use in the dye process, and also trying to help them to remember some of the recipes that have been lost and forgotten. And we have managed to document 6 dye plants so far, which are part of the process, as well, of course, as the chemical dyes that they use in this process. So it's a mixture. The women also, as part of the way that they work and part of the culture, they sing while they work. So we thought it was important that part of this project included the documentation of these songs and the different meanings that they have. And as I mentioned, so far we've engaged 208 women, and we work in 10 different localities in the Palm District. The impact so far has been that we have managed to make this carpet weaving technique relevant again. We created a brand for the women, so they sell their products under the brand Quinoa, and Quinoa means in the local language to lift up. Again, the 30 women training of trainers that were trained, we managed to get a group of 14 of these women from the core group of trainers to come to Maputo, which is the capital, last year. We managed to engage them in different sales activities, and in total, in 2025, the women made over $4,000 in sales of Quinoa products, in both in Cabo Delgado and in Maputo, and some of them were shipped abroad. In total, was about 500 plus products sold. And some of the outcomes is that we have managed to improve the quality of the carpets that they've been making so far. We've managed to create some standards in terms of how they do the finishing of the products so that we can engage some shops. We've managed to engage one of the best shops in Maputo to sell products, to have a private collection of these baskets and carpets. We have done some safeguarding of intangible cultural heritage. We've increased visibility of traditions, resilient and connected artisan networks. There've been Mask Foundation, which is the main NGO that is in front of this project, has done a small documentary on this project and on the women's work as well. This is some of the pictures from the project. So you have the carpets. So these are the typical carpets and the colors that the women use, which are very bright. And this was, there was a picture of the group, which is when we were celebrating World Heritage Day last year. And on the top, you have some images of the teaching methodology, because most of the women in the group are illiterate. So we've had to adapt a lot of our teaching methodology to doing in drawings. Thank you very much for listening, and that's it.
Thank you, Wacy, very much. A very impressive project with various impact and outcomes for the community. Congratulations. Last presenter for today is Mikoya Edward Dieve from Namibia, who will be talking about the creation and establishment of cultural space in the rural area of Ndiona constituency, Kavago East region. Mikoya Edward, if you can hear us.
Wacy, you may stop sharing.
Okay. Great. Is Edward with us? I cannot see him on the participants list. So I guess he's not here with us. Back to you, Richard.
Okay, well, first and foremost, I want to say thank you to the great presentations of each of the persons who just presented. It was great to see your projects, and we appreciate your presentations, and you kept within the 5 minutes for the most part, so we appreciate that, and so thank you. I want to open it up for questions. Anyone might have a question for any of the presenters. This is an opportunity at the moment to ask those questions. So do we have any questions for any of the presenters?
I have a question for the first presenter.
By all means, please.
What is the significance of turning to the back clothes? Are there any other reasons other than just to use them for dresses?
You're talking about the bark cloth, Bala?
Yes, the back cloth, yes.
Is she still
Is
on
the
with us?
significance only to have something to wear, or is there any other
Well,
reason?
the significance of the project is the fact that bark cloth has died out in some areas, and yes, it is for dressing. Traditionally, it is for dressing. So yes, that's what it's for.
Okay, and I'm trying to think, have you guys tried to find out, are there any other reason why people use that specific type of back cloth, for perhaps for the environment or for cooling or for medicine, or I don't know. Or is it
No,
just for...
there are specific trees that are used to extract the bark cloth. It's just not any tree. So there are a few artisans that are remaining that do know the particular trees which are specific for bark cloth. It's not just any tree which you just extract the bark cloth from.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Are there any specific ceremonies or
Yeah.
performances that are more authentic because they're using bark cloth?
Yeah.
Yes, like I showed you in the first on the slide, this particularly with the Bemba people, in the northern region, they use the bark cloth for a traditional ceremony called Ukusefya Pangwena. So originally the Bemba people come from the Kola region, that's the Congo region. So Ukusefya Pangwena is like a ceremony which celebrates them coming down into what is now Zambia, coming from Congo into what is now Zambia. And they do wear bark cloth during that occasion. So yeah, if you're asking about the ceremonial purposes, so there's different types of bark cloth. So we have the coarse bark cloth, which is just like a utilitarian type of bark cloth. It's a hard type. Then there's the ceremonial one, which is a bit much softer and lighter.
And Richard, I was wondering, I wanted to ask a question as well.
Thank you.
Is there anything, can it be used another way? Is there opportunity? I just want to build on the comment from the gentleman earlier. Is there another use for that cloth outside of how it's being used now that could be beneficial for other things?
There are some people like in Uganda that use it for different arts and crafts. But in Zambia, no, it's not something that's used for arts and crafts. It's particularly for dressing.
And you're a designer yourself, correct?
Yes.
And so I think you mentioned at one point that there were ways that you were going to utilize the bark cloth for new ways of how to use it in some of the fashion you were creating.
Yes, that's true. So a few weeks from now, we are having an exhibition, just to draw attention with the youth, particularly the youth, just trying to draw their attention to the existence of bark cloth. Because generally, when you walk up into a classroom or university lecture hall and you talk about bark cloth, people don't know what it is. They've actually never heard of it. So it's just basically to just draw their attention with the exhibition.
So when is that presentation?
Probably beginning of May.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, well, if you have any new designs that you were able to create using the bark cloth, maybe you can just show the group at our next meeting, which is going to be on April 22nd. And that's,
All right.
if you'd like, if there are some new pieces that you were created that were unique that you were inspired to create, perhaps you could show the group at that point. You don't have to do a whole presentation, but maybe if you'd like, some photographs of some of the designs that you came up with, just so that the group can see the versatility of bark cloth.
Yes, sure. I would be glad to show some.
Thank you. Are there any other questions for any other presenters from today?
No, Richard.
I think there is a question for Ahlam in the chat.
Yeah, I think you're right. From Aris.
On
A video?
how you
Would you like to see
approach
a video?
local. Ahlam, yes, we could watch the video. And also, Aris has a question about how you approached local poets and how you incorporated their work into your project.
Yeah, I actually have connections with these poets because, I am a member of the Egyptian Writers Union. Just a second. I was trying to play the video. I am actually a member of the Egyptian Writers Union, and in the Egyptian Writers Union, we have a special division for Bedouin poets. It's called the Bedouin Literature Committee. And this Bedouin Literature Committee is concerned with anything that has to do with Bedouin culture or Bedouin literature. So through this committee, I actually came to know a lot of those poets. I co-organized cultural events with the Bedouin Literature Committee at the Egyptian Writers Union, and I attended some of their occasions or celebrations of their National Day, for example, and I could organize the training workshop that was attended by these poets. And now they actually contact me and they send me some of their poems that they are interested in translating. A couple of days ago, I launched a competition. It's called Record Your Grandfather's Poem. Because as I told you, most of those Bedouin poets have passed away. But the new generation is actually very enthusiastic about preserving their heritage. So I thought about this competition of not only recording or promoting the existing literature of the people who are still alive, but also of preserving that of the ones who passed away. So I hope I get some participation in this competition. And let me now share with you a video to get a feel of this kind of literature and see how the attendees actually participate in the performance. Can you hear?
Yes.
أقول لي غير ليهم الأجواد ومشات ومشت موعد المشيات اللهم العنعام والنسيات الكرام ومن الجرح والنسيان السناتي ما وسياد البيع إبراهيم سديد معانا حديد ويقول لك يا حسيت هناك بعيد يفرق الدنيا قالوا موت بغل لك يا حسيت هناك بعيد اللي يفرق من كيف الدنيا
Let me show you another example.
Yeah,
Um,
not very audible.
Just Ahlam, before you play the video, mute yourself so we are not
okay,
hearing the sound twice.
okay.
We cannot hear, so just again, unmute yourself. Probably we hear through your laptop.
I can't hear from here though.
You can't hear the video?
No.
Yes, just play it again because eventually we could hear from your laptop. So
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't hear it. I want to hear it though.
Yeah.
yes, play it again, but unmute yourself, Ahlam. Unmute yourself.
You're muted. You're muted. You have to unmute yourself.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
you
yeah.
go.
Unmute. Yes,
I can
correct.
share the link to the YouTube channel if you wish.
Yes, of course. But you can play it now since we're here.
Okay.
But don't mute yourself when you're playing it. Unmute yourself so we can hear it.
Yeah, yes, okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Mhm.
Okay. Now.
So these are songs related to the victory of October, and they are very proud of their of this heroism, and they always يعني refer to it in their songs. This kind of song is called al-tag. It's a kind of art that is created by the use of batons, little batons or sticks. And the attendees always participate in this song as a chorus. So it's a kind of performance. And I'm actually in the middle of writing a paper arguing that oral Bedouin poetry is actually a genre that belongs to theater. It's a theatrical genre because it mainly depends on the performance and the participation of the audience in the creation of this atmosphere. So what do you think? Do you think it belongs to the theatrical genre or not?
Not sure.
Of course, this is not the only type of literature in Bedouin communities. There are other types of literature as well. There is the Sira genre. It's like the oral epic, the oral folk epic. And one of the very famous Sira is Al-Hilali Sira, because actually the Bedouins came from Arabia. The Bedouins in Marsa Matruh, they originally come from the Arabian Peninsula, and they are actually part of the historical account of Al-Hilali epic. So it's not just literature for them, it's history for them. It's part of their history. Any other questions?
Thank you. We appreciate that. Are there any other questions for any of the other presenters? Okay. Well, you can stop sharing your screen if you'd like.